would be really dangerous, but Baneling Speed's going to finish in time. So it's not. Yeah, it was just another awful Terran with a pet build. Fails, he loses. Yeah, I don't know, he was just really counting on me not having lair tech up in time to deal with that secondary push. And he invested way too much in the early rush. If I hadn't gotten rushes out, it would have been really good. But as is, just didn't do enough. Okay, I'm going to do the question and answer thingy now. If you have any questions you want me to answer, leave it on my Twitter, at Idrajit, IDRAJIT. I'll go through them. I'll skip any I don't want to answer. I'm going to do a commercial about every 10 questions or so because I like money. I'd gladly discuss balance with Day 9. Wouldn't be particularly reductive, but I'd be happy to. You tried 11 overpull 18 hash, and speed's too slow. If you're not going to get speedling, you might as well do the spin issue lock kind of thing. Depend on spine crawlers. Speed before warp gates is important. Speed way before warp gates is important, so you control the probes and you don't let them get a pylon up outside your base. And scouting. I use a SteelSeries 6G V2. It's a really, really good keyboard. I don't really practice that much anymore. You can't outplay your opponent with Zerg, you have to outsmart them. So most of my actual preparation is just kind of thinking about games and trying to figure stuff out. I will not be participating in GSL Super Tournament. It interferes with too much other stuff I have going on. Neither of them will ever catch up to Korea, and catching up to EU is meaningless since both are significantly behind Korea. EU and US are both bad relative to Koreans, so it's irrelevant. I just ran a commercial, so for anyone who doesn't get a commercial, we're just going to have 30 seconds of downtime. I said both EU and US are bad. It's not EU bashing, it's just foreigners don't play properly. I don't actually have a timer on this, so I'm not quite sure when the commercial is done. Sorry if it cuts off. Okay. Double expand only works on some maps. On ones where it does, then I do. 2 racks in close positions. No, close positions is not fair. There's a reason it's been removed from pretty much all tournaments. It's not fair. No, I always prefer opening Muto just because I like the mobility and the map control Mutos give you. Infestors are really good. I just feel like Mutos take advantage of my multitasking better. It gives me a bigger advantage. Well, kind of. StarCraft 2 kind of sucks, but I just compensate by not playing it. So, luckily you don't have to practice to be good at this game. I saw that game. I haven't tried it yet. It was really interesting. If the timings always work out like that, like the Cybercore was just finishing as he was putting down the spines, if those timings always work, then that kind of negates Forge FE on any map where you can't have the cannons both in a good defensive position and in front of the Nexus, which would be really, really cool. That could actually be really important. I have to look at it more. The biggest obstacle, not speaking Korean. If you have drones selected and any of them are holding minerals, you just hit C, and any that have minerals will return them to the hatchery. Running another commercial, 30-second break. I'm not going to answer any questions from the chat. It moves too fast. It's hard to read. Leave anything on my Twitter. I'll probably do this for another 5-10 minutes. I'll display hotkeys because there's no reason to, and it just takes up part of the screen. That's quite a few questions. Okay, I'm done with it. I'm just going to start here. I don't use camera location hotkeys. I've been thinking about remapping the F keys to tab and caps lock and tilde or something like that. It could be valuable. I'm just kind of lazy about it. It's something I'm considering. I might be going back to GSL in the future. I don't know. Foreign esports is really, really strong right now. It seems to be growing, so I like to focus on that. Brood War is definitely a better game than StarCraft 2. It's more balanced, better design, so everything's better. It actually takes skill and practice. EU is a little bit better, but it's also laggier, so I don't enjoy playing it as much. The Hydralisk, the Marine, and the Colossus. Hydras need to be better, Marines and Colossus need to be worse. Even if it requires compensation, like making gateway units better. The Colossus is too powerful relative to everything else. It makes for boring games. I don't know. I don't really do silly stuff that much. I'm not playing in Super Tournament. Day 9's fine. He doesn't really play StarCraft 2, so really he should be listened to more about RTS fundamentals and competition than anything StarCraft 2 specific. But he does have very good RTS fundamentals and is a good tournament player. He was one of, if not the best, American players for a long time in StarCraft 1. But he just doesn't have enough time to have the experience with Star 2 necessary to have game-specific knowledge. EGA has a bunch of things in the works. Nothing immediate, and I don't know when we're going to be announcing anything, but yeah, this is going to be a really good year for me and EG. The Jit and Idra, the name was originally Indrajit, which was an Indian demon. I forgot the N, hence Idra. 1 through 3 units, all my hatcheries on 4, queens on 5, 6, 7. Yeah, anyone playing from Korea, their results don't matter. Playing in latency is silly. Just compare NASL or TSL compared to anything live. Koreans dominate live, but they're losing way more games online. It's because of the latency. I'm going to run another ad. Ads don't show up for everyone. Turn off your ad block so it doesn't show up. It just means the ad wasn't targeted at your region. I already answered that. I think ghosts are really, really good, but no one uses them, or at least not consistently yet, so it's hard to say. He's a fine guy, as long as you stay away from StarCraft 2. He has an undeserved ego, and he's just not a good player, but personally he's fine. Day 9 doesn't want to talk about balance, so that's irrelevant. Chef, Machine, and I don't know. I guess Slush and Cats can Baneling all in each other, and the winner gets third. I don't know about non-Zergs. No, Overlord speed should be a hashtag upgrade, or the initial Overlord speed should be faster, or just anything to give Zerg better scouting early game. Once you've made a lair, you already lost half the cheeses that you need to scout. Probably Roach Infester. Hydras have their place in certain situations. I'm not sure if ZVT is balanced yet or not. It depends on if Ghosts are as good as I think they are. If they are, then it's Priceless Terran favored. If they're not, then it's Zerg favored, on big maps at least. Because Broodlord Corruptor Infester is really, really good if you don't use Ghosts. Probably a Hive-Tech Spellcaster. Infestors are cool, but they don't have the game-changing ability of, say, a Defiler or something. And we only have one Spellcaster, so that would make sense. And our Hive-Tech fucking sucks. That is the hard part. It's just, there's no way to tell. If they leave Marines on their perimeter and they have a 1 barracks wall in, you can't tell if they're expanding or teching or going a bunch of Marines. That's like the most difficult part of early game CVT. I don't know. Nesty, MVP, MC, I guess. MC isn't as impressive as he used to be. He's getting more and more obvious. His play is kind of gimmicky. The changelings don't really do shit. Yeah, if I hadn't gone to Korea, I was going to go probably study physics. I use the SteelSeries Kinzu. I think I have it set at like the 4th bar within SteelSeries drivers, and then 40% in-game. It's relatively slow. Stamina in StarCraft doesn't make, like, if you actually get tired sitting there playing a game all day, there's something wrong with you. People are just exaggerating and being weird when they say it's hard to play all day. I don't know. I've never had a problem with that. I'm going to run another ad.